disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I'm one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partner, Mike Gibbs. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, Gene? How are you?
I'm cool, man. All right, if this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Inter Network. Mondays, we got Raw with Mimi and Lump. Tuesdays, CTE, Chris and Travis Experience. Wednesdays, normally is us, Fist, Kiss, and Flicks, Eugene and Mike. And then on Thursdays, you can normally listen to Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, check us out on our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Mike, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Busy weekend.
Yeah. Well, since you had a family emergency the other day, so we didn't get a chance to record. Normally our podcasts come out on Wednesday, but you didn't have everything okay?
It was rough, man. I've been telling people, I lost my mother. I didn't cry this hard at my mother's own funeral. And I love my mother, but I like took that on the chin for the family. Like I had to go make the arrangements for my mother's funeral, and I'm not trying to bring down the podcast.
Right.
But right off the rip. But I guess I was in shock over my mother, but this, man, I've never cried this much over a fit. I love that dog. 15 years.
Man, I have never had a pet at all. Not one time in my life.
Y'all never had a pet?
No. My, you know what, man? Honestly, what my mom told me is that my dad had a dog when he was younger. Okay. So his dog passed away, and he was upset. He was sad. So he didn't want me and Trav to have the same experience that he had. That's what my mama told me.
See, your daddy loves you.
That's a lie.
Okay, so we got Travis Plowden also joining us tonight on this special occasion of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks. What's up, Trav?
Yeah, that's a lie. I'm gonna tell you why that's a lie. Because I talked to mom recently about this.
Oh, okay.
And she told me that the real reason is because dad had said we should get the boys a dog. Okay. Mom said no. She said, I'm already taking care of these boys, and I'm not taking care of a dog. All right. So she's like, she knew that we weren't going to take care of it. He said, Dad's not going to take care of it. So she was like, she's going to have to take care of a dog. She's like, she's not going to do that. She's not taking care of a dog, working and cooking and cleaning. She's not doing it.
Mrs. Plowden is very smart.
So we were younger. She blamed that sad ass story on Dad.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Okay. So I will be calling Mom sometime this weekend just to have a little conversation, so I don't really understand. Go ahead, Mike.
Let me ask this. Did you guys want a dog?
I did when I was a little kid. I did. Okay. I used to ask them for a dog all the time. And they were like, no. So, but now, like, to me, like with my stepdaughter, Kara, I always told Kara, because she was always wondering about her little dog. I used to be like, all right, if that thing died, then we'll just buy another one that looked just like it to replace it. To me, I don't have that emotional attachment to an animal. So to me, one Yorkie looked like another Yorkie. So all right, he did. Man. Get another one.
Yeah, you've never.
No, it's not like that. After having Cheeto, it's not like that.
I don't have that. I'm curious.
Stop. Who is Cheeto?
His name is Don Oscar Cheeto.
Travis had a cat.
All right, let's get on with it. I'm gonna leave it alone. That's a personal conversation.
So that's interesting. Like, I don't want to say like, oh man, I want to get a dog so one day it'll die so I can see what it feel like. Like, I'm not saying that, but it's just curious. It's just curious to me, like, to wonder like what it would be like to have a dog, like have that connection or any type of animal. Like, and my son, he's allergic to dogs and cats. So,
oh wow,
yeah. So he's allergic to dog and cats. He's allergic to dog and cat dander.
I got 5.
5 what?
Dogs.
5 dogs.
Well, 4 now.
All in the same house?
I moved 2 and 2 now. 2 are here. I left 2 with my dad, and 2 are down in Indy with me.
Wow.
But they're little.
I don't know.
I had 2 big labs and 2 little dogs and an English bulldog.
Okay. So, who knows, man? Sorry,
good,
sorry.
Man. Yeah, we
sorry
way
about
off track.
that. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about today. Like I told Mike Trav that what we're going to do is we're going to push our review of Kickboxer to the side. We're going to say that to Tuesday. This is our special edition of Fist Kicks and Flicks. So what I want to start out talking about is the draft and the tournament. That's what I want to start off with.
Figured as much.
Okay, so Mike, how do y'all feel about the draft, first of all, before we get to the tournament?
I've been waiting for this episode, and I thought I was going to bring it up at the end because I thought we were going to do the review, but I'm just going to say it now. My first round matchup is officially under protest.
Really?
I'm officially under protest right now because I want the league commissioner to go through the last votes in the last half hour of this morning and see if the votes are coming from a ghost account from the same IP address. Because I'm going to tell you this. I woke up. Listen, I woke up at 6:09 a.m. and KA was up by, I can't even remember how many votes. I get out of the shower, come out, let me check this win, and I lost. Now, I'm just going to say it. Who in the fuck is up that early besides Jeff Doss? Making sure he didn't win. Or, man, come on.
I'm going to tell you what happened.
I got worked.
I'm going to tell you what happened. I don't know if you're doing this or not. Jeff personally messaged people and told them to vote for for Matt. I know this for a fact that that Jeff did that. I know that.
God bless you.
Because when we were talking about, if you listen to Inside Scoop, they were talking about it. It was about how
he got me fair and square. Then
he went and told people, "Hey,
he outworked me."
Yes,
he outworked. I got outworked.
He that's what he did. He literally, and that's what Gene tried to do the same thing.
Yes, exactly.
Gene tried to do the exact same thing. The problem was his people didn't do it in time.
Well, you know what?
Because I saw Sadell come in there and say, Willie Hicks. I was like,
right.
No, Sadell.
But not only but there's another name before Sadell who I don't even know who did that. And I'm like, what is wrong? Why can't they just click on Willie's face? That's all you had to do is click the.
He made it so easy.
Man, I don't know.
So easy.
But I was getting all yesterday randomly throughout the day. Hey, I'm trying to vote for your boy. I'm like, no, it's too late now. It's like, come on. Yeah. But I think it's at least tied. It should at least be tied because that first comment that said Willie Hicks went on the right day. Me and you should be tied for that day, and you know that. You know that.
I don't. If I look back through there, that person probably voted for Willie on there.
No, he didn't. I looked. I said, wait a minute. Oh, my God.
Well, I can't blame him if people are too stupid to click on something. That's user error. That doesn't count. Like, if somebody goes...
asterisk next to that.
No, if somebody just screams out, I'm voting for Barack Obama, that does not count as actually count as a vote. That doesn't work that way.
Oh, man, that is...
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but you know what, man? This draft, man, is really fucking irritating.
Irritating as fuck. Like, I thought it would be fun. I'm laying in bed last night thinking about this shit, mad as fuck.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I already got anxiety. I already had anxiety. I'm drinking more than ever. It's just like this is extra things to think about. It's like I should not be thinking about this damn draft in the middle of the day.
Let me tell you what it's got me doing. It's got me going back, like reminiscing, looking, listening to people's conversations. I'm like, all right, was that person really that good? I go back and watch. So I just did it probably like an hour and a half ago. Just spent 40 minutes looking at it. My girl gonna text me, "How's your girlfriend?" I'm like, man, get the fuck. I'm like, man, just But no, it's got me, reminiscent. I think I'm too personal. Like the discussion about with your uncle, that just
that's on our.
He can fight. He can fight Jesus Christ, and Richard Pryor's gonna beat Jesus Christ to me. Ain't nobody gonna beat him. I mean, I'm sorry, that's my guy.
I choose not to jump into those conversations because honestly, if you look back at it and you see who did not vote.
I did.
They never vote, so it's like they don't care. So I'm not gonna really go out. And I'm not gonna care about it.
I made that comment today on my page. Somebody said, "Well, good luck, Morgan." This and that. I said, "Morgan, Morgan, yeah." I said, "Morgan don't care. Morgan don't even know this is going on. It's not. It don't exist in that world. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But it is fun.
It's fun.
It is fun, and I didn't really expect it to be as fun as it is. Like I said, man, it's more. I think whenever we do this again, we're all going to have a different way of thinking. Well, some of us will have a different way of thinking
a lot of people
about. Yeah, I'm
gonna say this. KA may go first round.
Maybe.
No, he went tough, man. He went tough with Matt.
Yes, I'm saying. So he made that. That was the highest voted one that we've ever had so far. Like it had like 260 votes or something like that. 264 votes. Yeah, nobody else has even come close. Nobody else has come hit 200.
What does Morgan have today?
I
Morgan would be high.
It depends. I don't know if Morgan's gonna be high because she's killing her. Like if it was close. Yeah, she was killing it like 70
I took the day off today when I put Morgan out this morning. I was like, I ain't got to do shit today.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like her and Jackson are, she's 76 to 24%, and it's 135 votes.
Oh, that's still like 100 down, 90 down.
Yeah, like she's it's no way of coming back unless, and now, not especially not now because this is what 5 hours ahead. So it's what 2 a.m. over there in Europe, 2, 3, 4 in the They're not gonna vote. So unless Jeff could have done something to get Evelyn, he knew he was taking that L. The moment you said Morgan, he knew that he was taking that L. Same thing when Gene said Chelsea. I was like, all right. I'm gonna say, even though Louisa has beaten Chelsea, I think each time they fought. So it's like,
I think Gina's my girl, but like my matchup with Jeff tomorrow. Is I think it could be intriguing because of the popularity contest with Nancy and Gina.
Oh, was that what you guys do? I didn't see that.
That's he sent out Gina, and I only have Nancy left.
Okay.
I only have 2 women fighters.
Okay.
So that's like the automatic matchup.
Yeah, I mean that's well. Here's the thing with yours, it's gonna be interesting because you can get Anthony and Renee and Nancy all to promote it, and because of that, it turned something. It could be a fight.
It could be more than the 232 votes.
Possibly. It depends. Yeah. So I don't know. I got to figure out who else is left to vote. I mean, that's one thing that you guys. I'm the one who has to keep coming up with all these wild recording podcasts. I'm tired. All right? I am.
That's cool. That's cool
with the stuff.
I
need an assistant. To be honest, I really do need an assistant.
This is it, man. This is your network, man. So here we go.
To help me. Okay, I'm still gonna be doing everything, but I still need that help. I need some help.
Okay, so what I want to explain is what happened to me. That's what I want to talk about. So
what you did to yourself?
Man,
or what happened to you?
Listen to me. Hold on. Slow down, Playboy. Hold on.
Which are you talking about? Which one are you talking about?
Okay, so originally, our whole draft was supposed to go on Sunday. So I said, Thursday, I was like, okay, cool. That gives me, plenty of time to prep for this thing. I ain't did any other prep work before that. So then when everything started happening, when people start saying, oh, no, can't do Saturday, can't do Sunday, and Friday. So my 2.5 days dwindled down real quick.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, damn. So on Friday, I wasn't really worried about men fighters. I really wasn't worried. Everybody that's on my list got picked. So I was pretty safe there. So I was okay. I wrote down 24 names. So I said, okay, there's 8 of us. We're gonna have 3 fighters each. It's 24. So I wrote down 24. Yeah. The next thing I figured, I said, okay, I don't really know too much about forms at all. So let me spend the majority of my time looking at the weapons and the forms. And that's how I made my list for forms and weapons. So by the time I got doing that, I was like, okay, let me look at the women. We were about to record. So I did it on the top of my head and only had 8. And I said, okay, this looks a little safe. I know unless I'm getting number 1, I'm not getting Morgan. I scratched Morgan off before before the draft even started.
I had said that early. If
I know that,
I'm taking Morgan.
But I knew that whoever went number 1 would have taken Morgan because it's easier. Like when I told you before, like when we were talking before, and you said you wanted to get number 1. I was thinking about you were looking for number 1 for the first men's person at first. That's why I'm like, it doesn't matter because there's so many good men fighters to choose from that I knew that if you would have got a good one, somebody else was going to get another good one also. What I didn't take into consideration is the popularity thing with this draft.
I'll be honest with you, up until about 2 hours before, tossing around between Raymond and Morgan. But what I thought with Raymond is, my fear was the polar opposite of the popularity. I said, we're all martial artists. What if people start thinking about that martial arts head? What if Nasty and Raymond would have fought? And the old heads start voting, or
that's just, what
people start thinking. So I'm like, man, that could be an L. And I'm like, Morgan is almost guaranteed a win in every round besides one fight. So I was like, my odds of winning that guaranteed win is Morgan. Rightfully so for martial arts standpoint, and rightfully so for popularity. So that's why I took her number 1, and that's my girl. So I think she's the best fighter in the world. So
yeah, I feel you. So man, I almost lost my train of thought. So the women. So I said, okay, I already had down my my women. I did off the top of my head without even having to look them up. Except for I had a couple I had to look up. And it was really kind of surprising to me is I knew more than I thought I did. Even when it came to forms, I don't know if because I still follow, some of the other sports karate pages on Facebook. So I see a lot of forms, a lot of weapons, this, that, and the other. But I only had 8 women. So when it was time for me to pick, on my computer, I had up winners from the Diamonds, the Warrior Cup.
We knew.
Yeah, we knew why you picked her.
We knew why.
Now, this is what. Now, please, baby girl, if you hear this, like, there's no disrespect, please, baby girl. No, it's all love. It's all love. You're wonderful. So, when I saw her name, I just said, I panicked. I was on the clock. So I said her name, right? And I immediately heard the record scratch. I was like, and to put this in the basketball terms, for some of you who don't understand this, in basketball terms, imagine if you have a list of all the NBA greatest players and everybody's picking who they want on their team, and I came out and said, John Sally. And then
no, you said Sam Bowie.
Right. John Sally has 4 rings. John Sally has 4 rings. And
yeah, you got a point.
I looked at that. I was like, okay, well, she won a diamond. That's not easy to do. So I picked her. And it wasn't until I heard that record scratch I knew that things probably didn't go my way. Now, also, what was going on in my head also was I was thinking about Jennifer also. But I didn't see a lot of her fighting like doing point fighting. Like, I don't really remember that. I remember her more so as kickboxing. So I was like, I don't want to pick her and throw that out there because I don't know what her deal was in that. And I, man, so like you said, Trav, also, like, I don't pay attention to the European women fighters at all anyway. So I didn't have no thinking about that. And I really wasn't going to in some of the Morgan fights, like I didn't really want to pick anybody that I saw from what I saw on YouTube.
That makes sense.
I didn't want to do that. So the funny thing was that Jeff who dropped Christine?
No, Chris dropped. Jeff dropped Christine.
Jeff dropped her.
So when he dropped her, I said, "Oh, sweet," because she was on my list. I had her on my list, so that's why I texted you and I picked her up real quick. So I was like, "Oh man," but I have not looked at so much sport karate in a long time, like in one sitting, lump sum, minute after minute on YouTube, but it was interesting, it was fun.
I mean, all of you guys have reached out to me in different ways about this whole thing, and
man, Alex, he was blowing me up.
I've left you alone. No.
He was blowing me up because he was trying to get Chelsea.
Oh yeah.
I was like, no, I know that's
guaranteed. Hey, you took Chelsea before me.
He took Chelsea.
Yep. Yes, because I was
surprised nobody took it. I was like,
because you got her on the way down. Because I thought, man, are they really gonna let me have Morgan and Chelsea? And then you swooped her, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Because that would have been shit. That's half my shit right off the rip.
That's 2 dubs.
Mm-hmm. So it was fun, and it was interesting. The whole tournament is interesting also, and it got me to thinking about yesterday with Raymond Daniels and our uncle, and I don't really think it made me start thinking about basketball, football, boxing, all different types of sports, and I'm really starting to get frustrated with all of the GOAT talk. Because I don't really think in any type of activity or sport there can be a GOAT. It's too much time passed, and you can't compare eras, and you can't compare fighters. Like if you want to sit back and debate between Rick and Anthony Price and Nasty and Billy, I get that. I get that talk, that GOAT talk. Who's the best?
Because they competed against each other.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And the same thing with Johnny and Brian Ruth and Brian Plimble, Jason, Raymond. I get that talk also. But trying to cross eras, like it's just never gonna work out. That's an endless, winless argument.
Well, it's not. It's opinion.
Yeah.
So there is never going to be a definitive greatest of all time. Like the same thing. All right, I thought about this recently because every time someone brings up Michael Jordan in any sense, they bring up LeBron somehow. And anytime they bring up LeBron, they bring up Michael Jordan somehow, right? And so I was sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, so what made Jordan better? Honestly, just makes Jordan a better player than LeBron. And then people start talking about how 6 finals, never lose, and blah blah blah. And so then I thought about it. I was like, okay, so Muhammad Ali lost. Are you saying he's not the greatest of all time? And he lost in championship fights. Are you saying he's not the greatest of all time in that? And then people try to defend it. And I'm like, but why is he better than Joe Louis? Why is he better than Sugar Ray Robinson? Right. And then I started looking at it from another standpoint. I'm like, Muhammad Ali is more the LeBron style of him losing in championship fights, being an activist, being more like Jordan was more Joe Louis. Like he just did his job and he was killing people. Like it was what it was. He was a icon for that era, walking through.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was nobody else like him. Like he was that guy for the people. And now I don't see how you can ever really truly compare the two. And then Muhammad Ali would tell you Sugar Ray Robinson was the greatest of all time. So I don't get how people look back at, and it's just who you idolize. And that's basically where it comes down to, who you idolize, and that's why you justify who was the GOAT. And that's it. Because you can't do it any other way. So a lot of this stuff is just, I don't care. That's why I never said anything. Like when Ali started talking about it's the GOAT, I'm like, all right. Okay. It is what it is. Like I can't go that, but I can't sit back and look at it. He has a right to be in the discussion of it.
His opinion.
Right.
It's ultimately his, like you said, it's his opinion.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really get into it, because my opinion is biased. My opinion is very biased. If you look at boxing, to me, it's Ali. That's who and like Travis said, that's who I grew up idolizing. Richard Plowden. That's who I grew up idolizing and then, formed a relationship with. I'm biased. I'm very biased. Today, I'm biased to Avery. Those are my people. That's who I'm with. I'm biased to those people. I get it. I'm not just my whole thing is just always be respectful. Be respectful of the other person's opinion. Be respectful of my opinion. That's it. That's because then I get upset and then I'm just gonna say some stuff I don't mean, and I'm not trying to offend people.
Right. I feel
Yeah. Well, hey, there you have it. It's an interesting conversation. That's why I think that this LeBron and Michael Jordan thing is a little overfetched, because as soon as somebody brings up anything LeBron has done, they quickly are bringing up Michael Jordan. And as soon as Michael Jordan does something or says something, somebody's quickly jumping either good or bad about LeBron. Like LeBron could be sitting there not saying a damn thing, and they say Michael Jordan just. Oh, you remember the time Michael Jordan scored 63? LeBron ain't never did that. And you're like, wait, what?
Right.
LeBron had nothing to do with the statement.
I'm gonna say,
and then you get everyone. You get the fire calmed.
Yeah.
Somebody says Kobe.
Yeah, and all of that has stopped recently. Let's be honest. Everybody, it's all switched now.
I don't think. I mean, Kobe was one of my favorite players, and I don't think he will ever be in the GOAT talk. And a lot of times, I think it's unfair with him. When I used to talk to a lot of people, they used to always say, "Well, he played with Shaq, right?" Mm-hmm. But they don't do the same thing with Magic. They don't say, "Well, Magic had Kareem,
James Worthy, Byron Scott, Michael Thompson."
But I understand that, but Kareem was the man. Kareem, Kareem was, he was the man. And they don't. I mean, Magic still get a pass when it comes to playing.
Scotty.
I don't want to talk about Scottie Pippen. I don't want to talk about.
If you watch that documentary, all right, I'm going to say this one thing. If you watched the documentary recently, right? Have you watched it?
No. I'm saving all. I want to binge all of it. I didn't want to break.
I'm going to say this one part. There's a part in there where they talk about how Jordan, in the finals, didn't want to pass to Paxson. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to pass to anybody. And they really talked about, like in that first finals, Phil literally said, "Give it. You're going to drive to the hole, throw it to Paxson in the corner." And he did it, and he started hitting the shot, and that opened Jordan's mind up, like, "Oh, I can pass the ball to these other players." When Phil Jackson got there, he didn't want to run the triangle. He said, "Nah, just keep giving me the ball and get out my way," basically. And the triangle made Scottie Pippen better.
Yes,
it gave him, it made him better. And they said that once he started seeing Scottie get better, he started relying on Scottie and Horace Grant a little bit more. And but prior to that, it just shows you that Jordan,
I respect,
might not have been the best basketball player as a teammate.
I respect Michael Jordan, but I think that if that was Mark Aguirre there, then he would have done just as good as Scottie Pippen. Maybe not defensively.
No way.
I don't like Scottie Pippen. I will never stick up for Scottie Pippen.
Either.
I think Scottie Pippen, you know what? If Paul Pierce played with LeBron James his whole career, Paul Pierce would be the Scottie Pippen. The people would be looking at Paul Pierce like, "Oh, well, LeBron got Paul Pierce." It's the same. Damn. It's the same person. So
Paul Pierce is better than Scottie Pippen, man.
Ooh, that's gonna be fighting words right there.
I know where we going right now. We done went down a whole rabbit hole right now.
Paul Pierce is a pure shooter, man.
Yeah, he is.
Scottie couldn't shoot like that.
Scottie, I'm not gonna,
Nobody
I'm not about to, get all into that, but Scottie Pippen was a better all around player than Paul Pierce. A little bit.
Let's go to this fantasy thing, because I want to pick your guys' brain a minute.
Okay.
If you could have a 3-man fighting team with 2 women, kind of like what we picked, who's your top 3 and your top 2 females? Not popularity, like legit fighters that you could put everyone out in their prime Who is your top three? And it's not by weight. You're sending out 3 males for the win, 2 females for the win. Who are they?
My females would be Morgan and Linda. My men would be, I'm gonna say my uncle, of course. Jason Tankston. I think Jason Tankston is. I think he's one of the most overall complete competitors. You know, Jason was good in forms, weapons, and fighting. You know, so I most definitely respect him. And the last one probably Jotty, Jason, Jotty, and Rick.
Nasty, Rick, Raymond, Morgan, and Nikki.
Same. That's my same too. That's weird.
I mean, I'm throwing all big fellas. Nasty and Ray. It's just there's too. There's one too much. I can't go against. If I'm trying to win, I'm looking at people who are winners. Like they just are dominant in their era, and Nasty and Ray did it. Rick is I don't. It's
he's like 2 decades almost.
Yeah, like he's just
longevity.
Yeah, his brain is there. You know what I mean? Like it's just his brain, his reverse punch, his defense is just there. So, like even if let's say Rick fights, right? Nobody's running the score up.
Nope.
It's going to be at the most a 5-4 match or a 1-0 match. You know what I mean? Like it's keeping that, and that gives Ray and Nasty to be able to do whatever they want. Morgan and Nikki to do whatever they want. He's neutralizing whoever's standing there. So, in my estimation, like I would throw those 5 out there and like, all right, do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's my 5.
Okay. Let me ask you this then: if Avery sticks with it in the next 10 years, and rarely loses, would Avery be in the GOAT talk?
I'm going to say this. It depends on the level of competition Avery has in the next 5 to 10 years if he fought that long.
Mm-hmm.
If Avery is dominant over the next 5 to 10 years, actually,
so the youth Travis is just not about winning. He has to dominate the people that he's fighting.
Yeah, because I mean, at this point,
I don't even say that. I don't say that.
Dominate by just constantly winning.
People.
Okay.
Like
I thought you meant like during the fight.
There's nobody that has a name, almost like where Morgan, like we talked, Travis, a while back, where like Morgan don't have that rival. Right. He needs that. He needs those people, and I see some people like that right now. But I'm talking 5 years from now. You know, what's the competition gonna be like? What's sport karate gonna look like?
Well, that's what I'm about to go to. Because there is no overall, he can't consistently beat Elijah. You know what I mean? Like Elijah's in the lighter weight, so he's always going to be down there. Avery's on the heavyweight side. Elijah has to put on some pounds to be able to consider that. So Elijah and Bailey to me are the 2 down there, right? And Enrique also. But and then up top, there's really only Cam. And depending on how when Cam is going to fight and how whatever he's going to do, it really depends. So, with that being said, it really depends on Avery just coming out there and constantly winning. Like if he wins over the next 2 years, the conversation is going to start happening about him, right? Over the next 2 years, like he's done it for like 2 years. He's been like the man for the last 2.5 years. Right. But if he does it and he's continually being the man for the next 2 years, then he's going to elevate to the next level because it's about 4 years. Like you had somebody like Alex Lane. I always bring this up. Alex dominated for like a year. He was winning, but nobody ever respected him. Nobody ever thought of him as being the best because Raymond was still around there and he wasn't beating Raymond. Raymond wasn't fighting. He was doing, I think it was around the time he was doing that WCL, or he tore his WCL. I mean, his ACL when he was doing the WCL or whatever the case may be. All that stuff. He was doing the WCL, and then he came back. And at some point, he tore his ACL or something like that. And so Alex was winning over people. Jody wasn't fighting. Jason was being Jason.
Okay, hold on one second.
So
that's
with
that being said, so who is Raymond's rival?
Depends on the time. There was Jason. There's one point at the beginning was Jason.
Okay.
And then there was Trevor. Like people don't know, Trevor was beating him at certain points. Like when they did fight, Trevor was beating him. But Raymond was still winning majority of the tournaments. You know what I mean? He was just dominating. It just was what it was. But there was times where Trevor would beat him. And that was usually at the Diamonds where Trevor would show out and actually win. But Trevor was inconsistent about when he would fight.
So, all right. So, I don't want to sound negative or nothing. So, with that being said, I mean, you only named two. So, if you look at,
but you respected the other people he beat. Now, being a rival versus the people you respected, he was beating Jody. He was beating Raymond.
It's a different
Jason.
level. It's a different level.
He was beating Trevor. He was beating Brian Plimple. He was beating
Brian
Roos. It's people you respected. Like it's not like he was just running through people who weren't any good. It was people who actually respected.
Yeah. He wasn't going through the division then fighting one good fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like, all right. Well, as far as rivals goes, like at one point it was Jason. And then Jody was not fighting that much. So
if you have that's what I was kind of trying to getting at. So if so Avery does have a chance, why wouldn't Avery be considered in that GOAT talk? Because if you're saying that Jody only had a handful of people,
that's what I'm saying.
Is the level of competition that Raymond fought, is it different from Avery?
Yes.
Okay, so then with that being said, the level of competition in the 80s when you had people like Rick and Anthony Price and Nancy Anderson is different from what the people that Raymond was fighting. Yes. So it's like it's not really kind of fair to put him,
Oh, I forgot Zolt. I would say toward the end of it was Zolt who was his rival at that point. Zolt was winning a lot. So Zolt would have been another person to throw out there. But no, he had, it was people that he was beating that were respectable that won overalls. When I look at it from that standpoint, do these people win overalls? Like not just like me, who was a divisional person who can win the division and maybe the light heavyweight grand or the heavyweight grand. The person who wins overall grand, like can he win that? Like if that person he's beating and he's continuously beating those people who can win grands and you respect them to win, like Carlos. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was beating Los. Yeah. Like it wasn't like he was beating somebody else. It was
right.
That's what. And Avery.
So that's kind of what I was getting at the very, very, very beginning. So then with the GOAT talk, it's always going to be broken down into eras, and it's not really fair to compare the best fighter of one era to the best fighters in another era.
That's true. And the past is always better than the future or present. If you really think about it, we always talk about the past as being great, and now it sucks. And then the future is doomed. The future is always doomed for some reason, but right now it's not as good as what it was. And then you really go back, and they were talking about this before in the doc. Some people, they were talking about how they were trying to tank Jordan's second season, and Jordan didn't want to tank. But they were talking about tanking is a new thing.
For the draft pick. Yeah,
and they were like, tanking is a new thing, and they're like, no, tanking is not a new thing. Like it's been happening forever. Like it's just like it's revisionist history. People always revise history. So,
Trey, do you know why you like Michael Jordan?
Yeah, you told me, but I remember. I just remember I like Jordan.
I'm gonna tell you, Mike. I don't know if you know. Do you know Trav was a big Michael Jordan fan? Like literally, a huge Michael Jordan fan. Like he would literally go around my mama's house and writing Jordan rules on the walls of the house.
I'm a big Jordan fan. I had a ball. I had the mic. I had a Michael Jordan cassette tape that I want to be. I played on loop. I had all that.
So when I was in elementary school, was a classmate of mine. He had on a jacket and it said Air Jordan. It was a sweet jacket, and I didn't know who Michael Jordan was at this time. This is like around 87. And I went home, and my auntie, I was talking with my auntie, and she was like, and her boyfriend was there, Dominic. And she asked me what I wanted. I said, I want an Air Jordan jacket. It looks sweet. And Dominic was like, you know who Air Jordan is? And I was like, no, I don't know who he is. So he had some tapes. Dominic was a big basketball fan. So he played Michael Jordan tapes. And he was sweet. He was dunking and fine, and it was cool, So then when the basketball the playoffs came around, me, my dad, my uncle, my granddad, all rooting for the Pistons. And Trav too. And everything I did, like cheering wise, Travis was doing it too. And it was pissing me off. And I was tired. I was tired of that. So I was like, man, why don't you stop copying me? Go away. Like Michael Jordan. And he's like, who's Michael Jordan? I was like, oh yeah, he real sweet. He real cool. Like, look at the stuff Dominic was showing me. Look at this. So Trav started liking Jordan from there. That was like the worst thing I ever did because wait. To me,
is it the worst thing you ever did, Gene?
Well, I did some things growing up.
Is it the worst thing you ever did? No, I'm just about to say, you got a shirt on right now that you told me that there was another reason why I don't like that school.
What are you talking about? But it probably was the same thing with the Spencer talk.
Exactly. You wanted me to start liking Michigan State, and around the same time is when I went to Michigan State and we went to that karate tournament, and I fell in love with Michigan State. And ever since then, I've been a State fan.
That's about to turn into a whole nother podcast, and I'm not trying to do that.
Just saying.
To piss me off. So we're gonna move on to our final topic that I wrote down for the night. And I don't know how long this is gonna be. It might not be very, very long at all. But it got me to thinking of what would you guys be doing if you were not involved with martial arts ever?
Horse racing.
Are you serious? I mean, serious. Be serious. Like, come on.
Dead serious. My grandparents had a thoroughbred racing farm. We had in Wixom, Michigan, we had a farm, and then in Lexington, Kentucky, we had thoroughbred racehorses. That's what I bet on horse races nonstop.
Oh, I thought you was talking about being a jockey. It sounds like stop playing like
I thought he was just like grooming them, right?
Man, what's Gene drinking?
I don't know, man.
Ain't no fat jockeys, man.
I got a course. Man, that's why I said stop playing with me. Because when you said that, I thought you...
No, I'm be like the, Bobby Hurley and own the farm. Okay. I would do that, or I would do the classic cars or, the custom Harleys. I like my vehicles. I would do something like that, but karate's always been my first love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost positive I'll be in doing something with basketball.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm surprised you said that. I thought you
wouldn't.
I thought you was gonna say be in politics like some of the other family members.
No.
I see you being in theater.
That probably would have came out of it, but I think that I really would have been in. I honestly think that my path would have started going down basketball, because that was my focus. I really wanted to play basketball, and the only reason why I didn't play at the Poors was because my dad stopped me from my freshman year. He said I couldn't play basketball my freshman year. You got to make sure your grades are straight. So my sophomore year, I was going to try out, and the tryouts landed on the same week as Anthony Price's tournament in Cincinnati. And y'all remember how much we loved going to Cincinnati. And I can't remember. I think it was Rick was like, well, you can't, if you go to the tryouts, you can't go to Cincinnati. So I had to make a choice between going to Cincinnati and fighting or playing basketball. And the reason why I chose it, because I didn't play my freshman year, and there was already 4 point guards on freshman team. Sophomore, the coach's son came. So that would have put us at 5 or 6 point guards. And I was like, chances are I'm not even going to make that squad. They already got a year in the system. I'm just going to focus on doing karate. And so that's what chose it. If I wasn't in karate, I would have been playing basketball somewhere. Now, I don't know where I would have gone. I would have probably been at some HBCU playing or something like that. Probably wouldn't have went to Michigan State, but my life would be completely different. I would be doing something. I'd probably be trying to coach or doing something in basketball, scouting something.
Now, for me, I really have no idea, because just like you guys, my life revolves around martial arts. And I really don't even think my girl realizes how much stuff is connected. Even my clothing line I'm gonna do is revolved around martial arts. My comic strip is revolving around martial arts. and just just having a school, in general. But like even my closest friends was all martial artists. Like for the most part, 95% of my best friends were in martial arts. We're in karate. When the reason I went to Fair State, Ski found that school. Like I didn't know nothing about Fair State. My boy at school, he mentioned Fairs, and literally the next day at karate, Ski was like, "Hey man, I figured out what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to Fair State." I took that as a sign because both of them said Fair State. I'm like, okay, cool, fine. Skip it. We go to Fairs. You know what I'm saying? But but from there, like, I would have never been a personal trainer. If I was never a personal trainer, I would have never, been a kickboxing instructor. And by being a kickboxing instructor, I met Eminem's guy. So when I was doing my music thing, all of my music, I was recording at 54 Sound, and all Joe wanted was me to train him, and he was giving me studio time, So that was sweet. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I never would have got to meet Joe if I wasn't teaching kickboxing, and I was teaching kickboxing because I do karate. So much of that's another thing. Even with music, I wouldn't have been doing music because Ski got me into doing music. So I probably would have been.
You'd have been drawn.
Yeah, I've probably been drawn.
Yeah.
But also architecture. Because when I was in high school, I had a class, 12th grade year, I had an architecture class, and I was good at it. My teacher wanted me to go to after college. Man, what did they call those things?
Trade school?
Yeah, trade school. He wanted me to go there for architecture. I guess he knew the people in charge, and he thought I'd been good at it. So I went home and told my parents. My dad was like, No. You're going to a college. You're going to a real college. You're not going to a trade school. And I told my mom a couple years ago, I'm like, man, I could have been an architect right now. You know what I'm saying? I could be getting super paid right now, instead of going to Fair State, fooling around up there. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it's just a blessing to see, all the different things that our life is connected to through, martial arts,
Oh, yeah.
That's especially even podcasts.
my job. I got my job based off my relationship from individuals in martial arts to this day.
See, there you go. So this is one of some of the things I be trying to talk to my students about also.
In what world would you guys ever be friends with Mike Gibbs?
I wouldn't have. I mean,
I don't think we would have met.
Mike, you are. I'm not bullshitting. Mike, you are my first white friend ever. You are. Because the elementary and high school I went to, there were no white kids there. Maybe one, but they were in other classes. So I never interacted with white people in the city of Detroit.
My school was mixed. So
no, I didn't go to school with white kids. There were no white kids on my block, in my neighborhood. So even at tournaments, I was at that age. I was not talking to people. And you were the enemy because you was always fighting James Garnett. So I didn't have no reason to talk to you. So when you came and started training with us, is when.
I hated you guys. I wanted.
Right.
I wanted to beat you guys.
Right. I mean, that's how you should have been.
And then finally, I was just like, "Fuck it, we can't beat them. Join them. Fuck it." There was one time when you guys were in Ferris, and Ski was competing on the west side of the state. I started going to the west side of the state because wasn't nobody really fighting. That's where the tournaments were. Right, and I think I fought Ski I fought him 6 tournaments in a row out there, and he beat me. And I was like, man, fuck this little guy.
What year did you start training with us?
90.
I want to say it's around 95, 96.
95, I think. 96. 95.
Yeah.
95, I think.
Because
I was 19.
Okay. Yeah, so 95.
I'm gonna be 40. I'm gonna be 45 now. So yeah, I was 19.
Okay. So yeah, so you're the first one, buddy. You get the buddy award.
Jeez. Well, I can't say you're my first black friend, man, because
I know.
Sorry, man. I'd like to give you that title, but I can't.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna hook back up for Tuesday. We're gonna get back to our review.
Because I gotta say something, Travis, before you cut us off. I said this to Gene earlier. Kickboxer is blood sport on steroids a little bit. Still the same thing. He's going to find in a tournament, win something.
You know,
he's doing the splits. I'm like, man, this guy ain't a fucking living off doing the splits.
Or showing people pull him apart, stretch him.
But to get into our review, do some research because it's intriguing about Jean-Claude Van Damme and the guy that plays Tong Po.
Okay.
They've known each other their whole lives. They grew up together. So it's cool. You do a little background to it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the review.
I read an article not long ago that there were some Asian people that were upset about this type of storytelling. They're like, how come all these Americans got to come all the way over here for us to train them, and then they all of a sudden they get some superpowers, and then they can go back and they're like, wouldn't we just train our own people to be the superhero to just beat up everybody else? So they were getting tired of being exploited like that, I have to find that article and send it to y'all.
I'd like to read that.
So Tuesday we're gonna record our Kickboxer. It'll be available for you all on Wednesday morning, 8:00. So we're gonna wrap it up. Either you guys got anything else to say?
I'm just upset that Jeff Doss outworked me, man. That's damn. He was out there hustling at 6 a.m.
Well, you just tied it back up,
man. I feel right now like I am in the NBA playoffs, and literally I'm down 3-1. I gotta win 3 more straight in a row in order to win this thing. I'm like,
I told Travis I didn't want to go against Jeff in the first round, didn't I?
Yeah.
And the matchup came up against Jeff because I knew he was gonna throw all the sweet forms people, but he has to come see me with those fighters now because he knows I'm locked and loaded. I have Ross, I have Kevin. The Wildcat Walker, I have him, that Kentucky guy.
Yeah.
I got him, and I got Pedro.
Okay.
And I got Billy.
And you gotta
come see me.
But you know what, man? The classic fighters kind of scare me. They kind of scare me because I'm like, man, because look, man, I tagged Christine in the post. And she liked it. And I'm like, lady, you got 4,500 friends. Like, send this out. We can do this together. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on.
I'm going to tell you this. It's a dangerous thing. If you notice, I didn't say anything. I didn't pump the Brian and Willie fight. Yeah. I did not do that. Like, I sat there and just like, I'm just going to sit here. I cannot do that. But it was the Jack and Jesse Ray fight, right? I'm be completely honest. I looked at it and I was like, Jesse hasn't shared this yet. And I was like, I could tell Jesse to share it, but it's a possibility if Jesse shares that, his people will see the other ones and see Willie and Brian, and they may end up voting for Willie. So I can't do anything. So I'm just gonna sit here. I'm like, I can't risk it.
And I'm not gonna send Jesse a message say, "Hey man, post for yourself." You know what I'm saying?
I didn't want to do that either.
But I will say this: that's what hurt. I think that's what hurt Jeff with Matt and KA, because he was going around and he did it to like 11 different groups and stuff, and some of those people love KA. So they sat there and was like, well, we're going to vote for KA. And it just got to be like,
well, and I think that's what did him with Joey, because once Rick, they shared it, it was over.
Yeah. Yeah. And once they saw
Joey
it, Joey
started to go boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh, thank you, Mr. Doss.
Yeah. And I will say this, Junior, Salientes, Coach of Proper, he shared the Brian and Willie fight. Because remember, Willie was dominating Brian. All of a sudden,
Yes.
Brian just came back, and that's because Junior shared it, and then Brian shared it, and then like I think
And
the
Willie
Venezuelan
did. That was killing me. Willie did. I'm like, what the hell are
Twitter
you
point
doing?
fighter, and all these other people started sharing it, and I was just sitting there like, okay.
I'm literally, I felt like I had grabbed Willie by the arms and was pulling him to the finish line, like, come on, come on. And he just laying there limp. He just laying there. I'm like, come on. I got in there. I had to DM karate people from our school. Like, I ain't gonna vote for Willie. When I got when that was moving slow, I had to get my frat brothers who don't know nothing about Willie. I'm like, I just gonna vote for Willie.
Wait, you had 9 karate people?
Yes.
I had to. Yes,
Mike, this is what I'm telling you. Certain things are happening. I'm gonna say that. Do you remember the Raymond Daniels and Rick, right? And you saw how Rick started coming back. There's a reason why Rick started coming back, and I just wanted to freak Alex out. Like I was like, let me see what happened. Because he was already down 2-0, and I was like, he gonna
imagine if he'd have lost. Alex committed suicide.
Oh yeah, I was worried about him. I was worried about him. I literally was. Man, I'm glad you're all right, man. I'm glad you made it through it.
But honestly, after this one, he's in trouble. Him versus Virginia. After this one, he's actually might be in trouble. This one fight he just sent out. He sent out Linda.
That scares me now.
Who's he got?
He sent out Linda, so she has Claire, Lily, and technically she could send out Casey, but
I'd send Claire out.
I would too. I think that's what she's gonna send out, and so that one is that's a dangerous match for him. And then he's stuck with Hamed Ferruzzi, Dottie White, Mike Welch, and Justin Ortiz. Mike Welch and either Justin Ortiz or himself. She still has Trevor and Laszlo and Casey. He's in trouble.
He's done.
He's in trouble. Like
she
literally can send out Casey and then Trevor to finish this out.
It's over. He's done.
Yeah, he's in bad shape because if she sends out Casey, he has to send out Mike Welch, which makes him have to send out either Dottie or Hamed or Justin against Trevor. Mm-hmm. He's screwed. He's almost pretty much dead. He's gonna need a job to pull that off. So
mine with Jeff has been so close, man.
Yeah,
like he's got me like up at night.
You two are going right at it. I honestly don't know which one of y'all are gonna win because y'all after today it's gonna be 2-2.
He came today with. I didn't think he would come with who he came today. I was like, man. He's trying to go up 3-2. He's smart.
Yeah. Who did he throw out? Oh yeah, you said he threw out Gina, right?
Gina.
Yeah, he's trying to go out because Gina is. Yeah, so you have to throw out Nancy. So yeah.
Yeah, but now he has to come see me.
Yeah, he does.
Like I said, man, this is a lot more strategical than I thought it was going to be.
But let me say this, Trav.
Yeah.
I bet you there's some other sport martial art networks that wish they would have thought of this.
If you watch some of the things that people are doing right now, you can tell they are taking they're listening and paying attention to what we're doing, even though we're smaller. They're paying attention to what we're doing. 100%.
I want to say this. I know we're tight on time, but hey, I was thinking about this driving to Michigan today because my mind just wanders. You know how people use the term McDojos?
Yeah.
Right? So you remember when Panther used to do the videos of like your white to yellow belt requirements, your purple to orange, your blue, and all the different styles and sell the videos, and people would send in the videos and get rank and things like that. Do you guys remember that?
No,
I
never had to send in.
Yeah, no. We never did it, but there was people that did it, right? And they're like, oh, that's crazy. You're not really learning. You're learning via videotape, blah, 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 blah. My thing is, I want to ask you guys with the pandemic and everything that's going on. I understand everyone's doing the virtual lessons, and I did Morgan's and I did Ross's. And I'm like, not right now. I'm done. But with that being said, I noticed some school owners, and I get it, are holding testings. Mm-hmm. how do you guys feel about that? I understand the lessons, or do you think they should wait till they get back in the dojo to do promotions?
Honestly, I don't really think it matters. Like for me though, like it depends. Like if they're going from belt to belt, I don't know how other people do their evaluations, right? But for us in our evaluation, besides one steps, like I can watch somebody. If I did it, I can watch somebody over Zoom do a form to promote them to the next belt. We have testings every month, but you don't move a whole belt until the third month. Right. So we have striping every single month, and on that third month is when you go from a first degree purple belt to a second degree purple belt. But at that time, you're only doing your form because you did your other requirements the previous month. So we broke up the curriculum and have the testings, a section of the testings every single month. So on that third month, I could sit back and watch a kid do their form on Zoom, and 9 times out of 10, I know they're going to do it right anyway. And I mean, so for me, I could do that. And also with the first part, one steps, unless they have a brother or sister, if they have a brother or a sibling that's also in the class, then I can do that from there also. But
this was like a higher ranking test. Like it was a higher ranking, but it was more like an intermediate. And to me, in my program, I had my one steps, I had my self defense, I have sparring, things like that. So I just thought about it because I don't have a school right now. I'm just like, man, how would I do this right now? Because I see some people doing it and some don't. I just wanted to pick your guys' brain.
Yeah,
especially you being a school owner. I don't know what I would do.
I don't know as far as running running classes. Like to me, it can get really, in my opinion, it would get boring really, really quickly for me. I don't know. I talked to Ski about it the other day because he said he's doing it, running classes over Zoom.
What's he doing? Is he doing?
I didn't ask him about testings. I don't know what he's doing with that. But just as far as running classes, I would literally need to sit down and write out what I wanted to do or how I wanted to structure the class because we're fighting in school, so we do so much sparring. I can do drills, but being able to do forms, I think for me would be a little bit of a challenge, somewhat. I almost would want to do that, almost only having maybe a set amount of kids, like maybe 5 to 6 kids at a time, so I can watch each one of them if I was helping them out with their form. But I wouldn't want to have all 20 kids at one time trying to do the form, and me trying to look at the screen and make sure everybody's right and their front leg is bent, back leg straight, shoulder straight, and making sure that I don't know about that. That might be a little challenging for me. Yeah. But if it's 5 or 6 of them, I think I can handle it. What about you, Trev?
Well, I'll just say this. When it comes to schools, a lot of them are about making money. It's not necessarily about how well they're teaching the kids. So I don't, honestly, to me, you can say you're a black belt in anything. I'm like, okay, good. I don't know anything about your system. I don't know anything about it. You did something right, I guess. But with some of these, like, I don't even allow myself to get mad anymore about some of the stuff that people doing. When I found out that there are schools that don't have forms, they just do 16 movements and that's their form. And then there's another one that's 50 movements. And you're like, they say, hey, that's all they need to do to test to go to the next one. Have they gotten their movements down in this way, shape, and form? So when it's become more of a business, a lot of the stuff I didn't like, all right, it is what it is. Like I can't even, I'm like, you are what you are, and it's gonna show if you end up fighting because you're gonna get beat up. Like I don't care. Like it's just like, all right, well, you're a glorified babysitter at that point. I don't.
Right.
I was even thinking about like even going forward, like, even after things get back to somewhat normal, like how it used to be when I have my school back open. Like if this is something that I want to do, if they wanted like a private sessions, or if I wanted to make videos, so if they miss a day, they can go back and watch what we did Tuesday when the other class is going on. I don't know, man. Maybe I don't know. That's something I got to think about.
Right. I wish your uncle would do it. especially since I was going and then now I moved. Like, I wish your uncle would do it Monday and Wednesday. To the point, like, I was like, man, because it would help me. I'm down in Indiana working out by myself.
I don't think he would do it long term. Like, I really don't see him committing to that.
No, he wouldn't. It would be like, I'd be like, I know he definitely wouldn't. He'd be like, go do this, do this. you did is just watch what you eat and run. That would be his advice. But, get Avery and be like, man, FaceTime this class for me or something. I don't know. I just think it intrigues me a little bit, being so far away by myself with the Amish people.
Oh man, I just saw a tragic story today. A bunch of Amish people just got hit.
Happens all the time.
Man,
peeled off all the time.
Is there no like signs or
there's hills? So what happens is they come over the hills at night and they just got like the candle
Why?
lit and the buggy and they got like the reflection triangle.
Why are they not in their house? Why are they not in their house at night? Like if I was living like that, I would not want to be out in the wilderness.
Most of them.
I'm not about to try to eat by no bear or nothing.
So they don't. So one of the misconception is that they just live out in like their community and they stay, but that's not true. A lot of them, like my subdivision in the city, was built by Amish people. So they work till dusk. And then they get home, and they're getting hit at like 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. They're leaving at 5 in the morning, and they get hit in the morning time. Okay. But it happens all the time. I've been down there. It'll be 2 years in October, and I bet you there's been at least 6 buggies that got killed or got hit, and then individuals got killed. It's sad. It's very sad.
But, well, prayers out to them. So we're gonna wrap it up. Unfortunately, we gotta wrap it up like that. No, we cannot end it. No, I was about to close it down. No, somebody say something stupid. Like we cannot end it on Amish people.
I will say this. All right, I'll go over. I will go over who's fighting who tomorrow or who's competing against who.
Go ahead.
All right, so Gene, I sent out Steve Tirada, and you sent out Alan Davies in response.
Yeah, Alan Davies.
Alex has sent out Linda, so that means Regina is either going to send out Claire, Lily, and I doubt if she sends out Casey, but it's going to be Claire or Lily. Willie just texted me and said he's sending out Nick Bateman, which means Chris is going to have to respond with Mark Canonizato. Yeah, I think that's the only person he has left. So yeah, he has
Mark.
And then Gina and Nancy. Nancy Price versus Gina Thornton. Mike and Jeff.
See, I don't know, man. I just don't know what to think no more because on one hand, like I don't know how active Nancy is on social media. Like I'm friends with her, but I don't really.
I think Nancy and Gina would have been a good fight.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah. A real life fight, that would have been a good fight. And
real good fight.
I think Malik will be very active on it. He will be active on there. So
I'm gonna message Malik. You better do that, Jeff Doss. You out here cheating. Jeff Doss is out here cheating. He outworked me. I bowed him, but it's over. I'm gonna leave it to go. I wanted you to check IP addresses. I thought he had the ghost accounts out. I didn't know. But I guess he just outworked me, man.
Because here's the thing. I was up this morning. Like I didn't do everything like
Did you see at 6 o'clock? KA was up by like 2%. I'm like, all right.
He was up by 4 at 7:30 in the morning. He was up. He was up. And I was like, oh dang, so K ain't gonna pull this out. All right. And that's when I finished the post for this morning.
I'm driving to work this morning. Morgan, I'm making the Ric Flair video. I'm happy. I'm like 3-1. It's over. 3-1. I'm like, man, this shit is a wrap. Because he has to come see me with Ross. It's over. I won. And I'm celebrating shit. And then I get to work, open up the poll. I'm like, all right, let me vote for today. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? What happened? I'm like, Jeff Doss made some phantom shit up because I lost by 2 votes. I'm like, he made 2 phantom accounts.
Yeah.
I'm like, because it happened within a half hour.
He literally, I know for a fact, he reached out to somebody and said, "Hey, I need 3 people to vote for this for
at 6 in the morning."
Yeah,
I did that too. I can't lie. That's what I did with Willie. When I woke up and saw that Willie was down 6, I said, "Oh hell no! How could he be losing?" So I had to get up. I had to go through the DMs, like who I have not DM'd, send them messages. I'm like, all right, it's coming. Like, man, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I can't believe this. And
when
then,
I kept looking.
pissed.
I literally woke
pissed.
up in the middle of the night. I woke up in the middle of the night at some point, like 3 in the morning. I was up and I was just like, I'm not looking at this stupid thing. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, I'm just gonna go back to sleep.
I did the same thing.
And at 6 a.m., I got up like I usually do, was getting ready to work out. I looked at it and I was like, is he gonna pull this out or what? And I waited. I literally waited before I worked out. Like I sat there and was like, all right, I'm gonna wait. And because I was literally watching the whole time to make sure Gene didn't do anything and send it out to somebody.
I was doing it.
I was like, Brian's up by 1.
I was sitting on the toilet.
Let's hold up. Oh,
man, I could not believe. Like it was pissing me off. I'm like, I should not have to do this. Willie, you should be doing this. This is what I'm saying. Like, you should want to win this for me. You should want to win this for me. But all right, that's it. So if you guys listening, the Martial Arts Center Network tournament is going to be going on for the next few weeks. So make sure if you're listening, jump on to our Facebook page and vote for your favorite competitor who you think would actually win in this competition, not just somebody that you're cool with.
So you're saying vote for Steve Tirada over Alan Davies. That's what you're saying right now.
I'm saying I'm putting out my podcast right now. That's what I'm doing. So for all of you guys, make sure that you follow us on our social media. Make sure that you vote in our tournament, and make sure you come back next week. There's no other shows this week. So come back. Is Mimi and Lump doing a show coming out Monday?
I don't know.
All right, they raw, man. I listened to them. I was like, whoa.
Oh, that's it. No, they're raw.
They really are raw.
We're gonna talk about something when we get off here. I'm like, yo, because I didn't notice something. I'm glad I did not put I told Chris, I'm glad I did not put the draft out, the actual draft of that night. Yeah. Something happened in the middle of that draft where I was shocked. Like this, I didn't know what was happening, and I looked. Everybody else was looking off their screen or whatever, and they didn't see it. And Chris was the only one standing there like this.
So you're literally going to leave a teaser on the end of this.
Oh, I'm never going to say what that was.
No. I'm talking about you leave a teaser on the podcast for the people that's listening to it, because they're never going to know what you're talking about.
Never going to know what I'm talking about.
All right.
They probably better off.
They are better off not seeing what I saw. I was like, wow. All right, okay. This is literally. All right.
Okay, so for all of us here at the Martial Arts Center Network, we will see you next week. Peace.
See ya.
Oh, man.
Come on, stop recording.